So this question of yours regarding one-to-one checking of copy and your answer script related to the daily answer writing of ethics we are giving on the paid batch of ethics. So we'll be checking it one-to-one. So Lingesh, are you there?
Yeah.
So the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. The above quote highlights the imperativeness of proactiveness and better. You have started in from here itself, right?
Yeah.
So this is the question. Okay, this is the question. The quote you need to write about in the context of civil services. The more you sweat in the peace, the less you bleed in the war. So this kind of proverbs are being asked by the UPSC. So he has written the answer regarding that. Let's check what he has written about that. So in the present context, to introduce, he must know that it is in the context of peace and war. Okay. So directly also you can write about peace versus war situation. Like there are several ongoing war in the world, like in Ukraine, Russia significance also, Israel, Palestine significance, Hamas, Gaza, so you can write about that also. Means if you sweat in peace, means if you prepare in peace, nobody can strike you as hard as people are doing in oblivion situation or non-conscious or unconscious situation. So that is the meaning, the literal meaning of the proverb. But there are like real life, happening related to this proverb also. Like if you are preparing well for the exam, then you will get good result, you will be topping or you will be getting good marks also. But if you are oblivion and if you are not fighting in that whole year, that is sweating in peace, you will be bleeding in war. The exam will be failing you or you will be not feeling good after the exam related to the result. Okay, so there are like several meanings of sweating in peace and bleeding in war. Also, in the game situation, if you talk about Olympic situation of India, Olympic games, or any other international or national games, except cricket, till till recently we were not getting much of the medals, but now we are getting handsome medals and we are aiming for more and more medals. So sweating in peace is necessary, means the sport administration, the support to sports and sport persons should come forward in each and every game and make the good name for India. So that is also sweating in peace, less you bleed in war. Simultaneously in administration also, in administrative situation, if we are seeing that, if we are preparing well for elections, bigger elections like general election, then our election will be not rigged and it will be very peaceful, without conflict, without any spot on election commission, it will be conducted. Similarly, if we talk about police, if police is active and alert, means sweating in peace, then if the attacks by goons or nefarious anti-social elements will be there, you will be bleeding less. Okay, because you can contain the situation, particularly the situations like riots situation or arson situation, which are happening nowadays in several places. So if the police is active and proactive in peace situation, if they are connected well with the people, their identity as a civic police force is there, definitely in the times of conflict there will be less and less blow or strike on the police force. So election policing, even the administration of education. So if people are sending their words and checking the whole year, the guardians and the teachers are checking the pupil whole year, then definitely they will bleed less in war, and after the situation they will be not depressed or they will be not doing any negative stances like people are doing, students are doing in Kota or any other places where they are depressed with the exam and the result. So this kind of thinking should come in this question. So let's see what you have written. The above quote highlights the imperativeness of proactiveness and better safe than sorry attitude. The same was said by Sun Tzu in The Art of War, as victorious warriors win first, then go to war. Very good. You have written win a very good way. you have quoted, and you have like contrasted also. So contrast is really good in the opening line itself, and you have written in a paragraphical format. So it is a good way to present your introduction. Though there is a disclaimer that you should not write more than one or one and a half sentence. But if you have written in a paragraphical format, your
Mhm.
clarity is much more. So I am accepting this introduction in this particular question. Otherwise, writing one and a half line is more than enough for UPSC exam in 10 marker question like this, where
Mhm.
you have limitation of 150 words. Okay. But this
Okay.
is good because you are contrasting and you are clarifying the meaning of the whole quotation within one para at the
Mhm.
start. Okay. So you have to
Okay.
explain it less later on, and you can explain the pointers or logics of this, and you can give examples, many more example in your body part. So let's see what you have written in body part. Sweating in peace cause less bleeding in war. Okay, so you have written that sweating in peace will cause less bleeding in war. So let's see what you have written here. While practicing during peacetime, one gets to know SWOT analysis of self and maximizing, minimize weakness, maximize strength can be practiced. Thus, such a warrior does a strategic fight like Guru Drona, who devised Chakravyuh to bleed less in war. Okay, very good. You have written in a paragraphical format, and this is good. Even in this kind of situation, when you are utilizing paragraphical format, you don't have to write the subtitle. If you skip the subtitle, you will save time,
Mhm.
and your paragraph is self-explained and self-exposed. Okay,
Okay.
you
Okay.
don't need to actually write a subtitle for this what you are writing here. Okay.
Okay.
So, and I will try, I will push you to write less of a brackets in at least in ethics and essay like situation. Your
Okay.
lines or your sentences should be self-explained. Okay.
Mhm.
So you can write in this way, like while practicing during peacetime, one gets to know about the weakness or strengths, and you can write in brackets SWOT. Okay,
Okay.
that will
Okay.
do. But this much of bracketing is not a good way to present your answers. Even avoid the cuts what you have done. I know that you are practicing here, so this is not
Okay.
your final answer. Code
Okay.
can be understood with some example. You don't have to write in this way again.
Okay.
You don't have to write about the subtitle here. You can directly write the examples by
Mhm.
writing examples here, because you have explained above what
Okay.
you are actually meaning. Okay, now you
Okay.
have to illustrate with examples. So directly write the example. Muhammad Ali, boxer, trains 18 hours per day, which is why he got 56 wins and only 5. So this is good. And you can write about the diligence factor here, hard working phenomena factor here.
Mhm.
Hard work,
Mhm.
hard work, and like diligence, self work. These are the keywords you should write: hard work, diligence, self work. And
Okay.
you can also write about protestant
What
ethic,
ethic?
which is
Okay.
the phenomena where the enlightenment happened in the Britain because of that in 1750s around,
Mhm.
and changed the entire system of European civilization and took
Okay.
them out of the medieval ages, or you can say the bad phase in the history where nothing was happening, nothing was going on.
Mhm.
Okay, so that kind of situation you have to explain rather
Okay.
than writing in a motivating way. This is the motivating way of writing.
Mhm.
Ethical way of writing is to contain these kind of work, like work ethic, hard
Mhm.
work, as I told you, self work, as I told you, conscious
Okay.
work. That kind of word you can actually utilize in this. Always
Okay.
think from the perspective of keywords of ethics and keywords of syllabus. Working on
Okay.
adaptation and mitigation reduces. Yeah, this is a great word you have utilized. This is from the aptitude phenomena of ethics. So aptitude, or it is also called in Hindi samaj, understanding. So from that perspective, you are writing adaptation and mitigation. So this is okay. Damage to life and property in disasters. Travel districts, Nandubar IES built oxygen plant anticipating second wave. This is good example. You have explained the example in a great way. So this is
Mhm.
good example and good pointer also. You can, though, I will suggest you because this is a great, a kind of full paragraph you have written in example to contain this, because you have written a above example. So you should write in a way example only. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So either you write this
Mm.
and write about Nanduvar IES
Mm.
during COVID-19. Very few lines, few words, then you have to write. Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, totally eliminate this because you have written only examples above. So write about this strictly. Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
give the case of disaster management in itself, or you can bracket disaster management at the end. If you
Okay.
want to clarify that point, you can write out. Within this, you can write also
Mm.
disaster management. Okay, during
Okay.
such above. So you always have to think about the brevity of word which is written in the essay syllabus of UPSC. Here also.
Mm.
Then second
Okay.
ARC sixth report recommends confidence building measures like peace committee to avoid conflict, escalation in caste or communal conflicts. So this is always good way to write about peace building approaches or confidence building measures. It is called CBMs. So this is written in a very good way. You have written the recommendation of second ARC. So this is good. But if you want to write normally, try to write this recommendation at the end and it will create a very good impact, right? Very
Okay.
good
Okay.
impact, because ending with a conclusion which is laced with second ARC recommendation, particularly
Mm.
second ARC fourth report, ethics in governance, or sixth report, all these things are really great.
Okay.
Now you have written about less sweat, that is more bleed, proved with failure of League of Nations to set. See, I will suggest you do not write and go in this manner where you are extending your points again and again and
Mm.
going back to the examples again and again. Rather, try to saturate these kind of reasoning in the above thing only.
Okay.
Otherwise, you will be writing more and
Mm.
it will be in chaos while finishing the paper on time. Okay, because you have
Mm.
written in 2 pages full. So that is not acceptable. Do not write
Okay.
more than 1.5 pages in this type of question, because you know that you have word limit, and word
Mm.
limit is for a very rational reason that you have to complete the paper. They are seeing
Mm.
your rationality not only in one question but the whole paper also, whether you are a rational or emotional person. If you are
Okay.
an emotional person, then you will be not finishing on time and you will be thinking more about greediness. You
Mm.
are a greedy person, you write more and more in one question and you leave. So you are greedy, at the same time you are not emotionally intelligent. You
Right.
are a person who is maximizing approach, aggrandizement, or there is also one called gratification, instant gratification you want. Rather
Mm.
than gratifying the full paper, you are instantly gratifying in one question. Please think
Mm.
psychologically in this manner where you are writing less and meaning more. Are you getting that? So I am
Yeah.
deleting because of that only. You can
Okay.
delete this one, you can delete this one, you can delete this one, and
Mm.
write very strategically. If you have started with paragraphical format, one para you have written, second para you have written, and examples, 2 example you have given, leave this for last one, second RC, sixth report. And
Mm.
if you want to write this three also, then
Mm.
please write within 3 lines in
Okay.
making one para itself. Okay.
Mm.
And make
Mm.
it a reasoning in a
Okay.
reasoning kind of way in a paragraphical format. So you can
Okay.
write that League of Nations did not sweat more. So it was having an unprecedented failure during World War II. Okay. Then
Okay.
you can write about like enemy quality if we are like Maoist in this, despite their intense training. So these words here, these kind of example you should eliminate from here, because you have to write again. Sunju,
Mm.
you have written. You should not write again and again Sunju. If you have written
Mm.
once, it is more than enough, because you have to write other answers also. Do not
Mm.
repeat your statements or repeat your examples, or do not confuse the examiner at all. So
Okay.
that's why I tell you to write less and mean
Mm.
more. That may be
Mm.
possible within the points you have written above, while
Mm.
incorporating one more point from here. This
Okay.
thing, less sweat, more bleed, and you can write no immoral or unethical sweat. You can write about this example also. So more and more example you can write. Rather, I will tell
Mm.
you to eliminate this whole, because it
Mm.
is not making much sense and it is not very clear. It seems to be too much rational, okay? Too much rational. You delete this one, you delete this one, and you come to here in the last para where you will write at the end second ARC6 report as I told you to write. We need
Okay.
sweat today, peace to bleed less in just war of SDG target and Sendai target, but ultimate is to follow Gandhiji and Dalai Lama's compassionate sweat to avoid destructive war and bleeding, but to again, you don't have to write a whole para which is having no breath. Okay, like Shankar Mahadevan, we cannot write like that. We
Okay.
can write simply. We can write that a virtuous sweat is needed, like just war of SDGs and Sendai,
Okay.
and you can put end to here and then write Gandhiji and Dalai Lama's compassionate sweat is the future order.
Okay.
Avoid destructive wars, or you can
Okay.
only write bleeding in the future. Okay,
Okay.
so all these things you are written too much keywords here. So too much of cooking will also spoil the broth. That kind of proverb is there. You should not
Okay.
follow that. So restructuring your answer to fit it in 1.5 page is necessary.
Okay.
If you write like this, maybe you feel better after writing in one question, but you cannot finish the paper. First thing. Second thing, it is too much confusing to write about only one statement they have asked you. Do not give the unnecessary reason and unnecessarily complicate it, just like GS paper.
Okay.
It would be GS paper, you would have written in this way also. And not sure about that. And even this is 10 marker, and you have written at least, I can tell you, 220 or 250 words in this. So that is not allowed at all. So what is the final comment? Your introduction is very good in the paragraph format. Then you have written about this. This para is good, but writing subtitle is not okay. So second para. Third para, you can write about 1, 2 examples. And then you can come to this para where you can again write one para and then come to the final conclusion where you write about this just war or Gandhiji or Dalai Lama. You have creatively here virtuous sweat and compassionate sweat. So you can explain that and then end with second ARC sixth report recommends confidence building measures like peace committee while in conflict to avoid the caste and communal conflict. Okay.
Okay.
You can write more about, as I told you, more about the situations like suicide rates, mental problems, or you can say disasters, wars you have written already. So in real life also you can write about. In your own real life also you can write something. You can write about quota issue, where if they will be keeping with the whole year with the pupil or student and giving them emotional support also apart from the academic support, then they will be not bleeding by suicide. Okay, so that kind of thing also, practical examples also you can write here. So I give you very less marks here despite you have written brilliant things. I can only give you 5 marks here because of over out of 10,
Okay.
because of overburdening yourself and the examiner who is checking this question and writing and exceeding the word limit. Otherwise, if you would have written only this and the last 1, 2 examples and concluding, then you would have got at least 6.5 within this answer also.
Okay.
Because you seem to be more controlled, emotionally intelligent, and non-greedy. And at the same time, your paper is complete. For that, you will be getting bonus marks.
Okay.
Why? Automatically, if you write 2 more questions than avoiding 2 questions or leaving 2 questions at end, even if you get here in 2 questions, let's say if one case study you are not able to write 20 marker question, this is at least you can get 8 marks here, even if you write very bad. And if you write one theory question less, then here 10 mark is there, and there if you get even 3 marks, how many marks you have added here? 11 more marks, which is better than writing this lengthy answers and
Right.
getting only 5, okay, and you are losing 11 marks at the end. Because if you write like this in each and every question,
Mm-hmm.
you're not finishing paper on time. Do
Right.
not do this grave mistake. Your writing
Mm-hmm.
is excellent. Your pointers are on point. You are also knowing about second ARC. You are knowing about Sunju, the art of war, and everything you are knowing about. You are
Mm-hmm.
not presenting it in the desired manner, and you are becoming less emotionally intelligent and less, non-greedy.
Okay.
Okay, so that attitude you should do. Otherwise,
Okay.
okay. Any question on this?
No problem.
Okay then.